My name is Aaron Posner. I am a theater director and playwright. This is my sixth show that I've been involved with at APT. I've directed 5 shows over the last 10 years or so, but this is my first time here really as a playwright with an adaptation that I'm not directing. Anton Shorts is 5 short pieces by Anton Chekhov, who I've spent a lot of time with. I have adapted several of his plays. The first one was The Seagull, which I did an adaptation of called Stupid Fucking Bird, which has been my most successful play that has gone on to a lot of productions around the country, around the world. His Uncle Vanya, I turned into a play called Life Sucks. His play Three Sisters, I turned into a play called sort of existential partner play for it called No Sisters. And I'm currently working on an adaptation of his final play, The Cherry Orchard, which I have called The Cherry Tortured. And then this, and then I'm done with Checkoff. It's been a wonderful decade, and we're done with each other, I think, after this. Chekhov really started modern realism, and everything that has followed him for the last 120 years has sort of followed like, oh, complicated people in complicated situations. But what he was doing was really radical. And I wanted, when I first started working with the Chekhov pieces, I wanted to sort of re-radicalize them for a contemporary audience. So that's what I was up to with the early adaptations. This one, Anton Shorts, is a little bit different. It is not a radical modern reinterpretation. It is leaving Chekhov in his own period. It is exploring sort of where he was when he wrote his early vaudevilles and his first sketches, which he was in his 20s. It was part of his first success. So this is much more sort of true to the original Chekhov. We've kept the pattern and the shape of the pieces pretty much intact. The language has changed a lot because, again, the world has changed a lot in 120 years, and the rhythms of comedy are different now. The energy of comedy, of course, some of the specific references that we just wouldn't find funny. So I have given it a contemporary polish. I have tried to knock a little dust out of it, but the brilliance of the insight into humanity and to people in ridiculous situations put against wonderfully opposite people that will bring out all of the sort of contrast, that's all Chekhov. That is vintage Chekhov. In these early works, he's much more interested in delight and play and watching people in sort of long-suffering situations, but always towards humor. There's wonderful pieces in this that, while they're funny at times, are also super complicated. So it's been a delight to spend some time with the sort of earlier Chekhov, and I spent most of my time with the later Chekhov. I am always more interested in my imagined Chekhov, and he actually shows up in this production, than the real Chekhov. I'm not trying to be true to his original plays. I'm not necessarily even working hard to be true to these original plays. I am engaging with Chekhov, I think, meaningfully as sort of partners with tremendous respect, and I think healthy disrespect as well, or irreverence perhaps rather than disrespect. Anytime you're in the room as a director or playwright or anything at APT, you're in a world of a master, particularly this cast. You might think you're in charge of something, and you might be-ish, to quote David Daniel in the play, you might be-ish, but you're also getting a master class in acting, in collaboration, in nuance from these remarkable actors. From the time we began working on these, which was last summer, and we did some workshops over that time, so much of them have been informed by the people. I'd done first drafts, and then once I knew who the cast was, I'm sitting at home in DC writing them, but I'm hearing Dee Dee in my head. I'm hearing Jim and Brian and Sarah and Kelsey. Like they're all in there. One doesn't have to talk at APT about the values of APT and the amazing value of this incredible group of artists. But to be adapting these for APT, for this group of artists, is just like, in some ways, I will say this piece is one of the easiest things I've ever worked on because of that amazing level of collaboration. So, that's just felt really, really lucky.